Hey beautiful people, this video is about what is strategy execution. So we're all familiar with strategy, but the idea is the plans, the aspirations, the approaches that we're going to take. It's supposed to produce great breakthroughs for us and for our organization, for our companies, but many times it fails in the execution. And so I'm going to talk about strategy execution. I've been running executable strategy sessions for senior executive teams for many, many years now. And one of the things that I've seen is if we understand the strategy and we agree on the strategy and we focus on the execution, our chances of delivering on our valuable strategy that we've dreamt up is so much more useful than if we were just simply relying on teams around the organization without the leadership guidance to be able to deliver on a strategy and translate it into something that's valuable for the company. So that missing layer of the execution layer is what we're going to talk about in this video. Strategy execution is not a theoretical model, but a living, breathing process. And if we are able to design that process, we increase our chances of delivering on successful strategies much more effectively. We're going to show how executional intelligence helps you build each component systematically and intentionally. Why do so many well-designed strategies fall apart during execution? What if the real engine of delivery wasn't the KPIs and the dashboard, but it was in the promises that we actually make to each other? Strategy design is only half of the equation. Execution is where the real value is won or lost. And we're going to look at what are the 4 execution components of every high-performing organization needs. Strategy execution lives in 2 operational layers. We're super familiar with one of those layers, which is the visible layer. It's the org charts, it's the plans, it's the KPIs, it's the tech stacks, it's the emails, it's the meetings, it's the Slack, it's the Teams chats, it's the project management tools, Asana, Monday, whichever one it is that you're using. And we're usually using those both as project management and as coordination tools. That's the visible layer. That's the stuff that we're able to see every day. If you can build the capacity to be able to see the execution layer, which is really the invisible layer, and think of it like an iceberg. So the stuff that we're looking at on the top is just the tip of the iceberg. The work that we're all doing every single day to be able to coordinate with each other, to design together, to co-invent together, to create together, to build trust together, to be able to get it done together. That's the bottom part of the iceberg. And we all know the tip of the iceberg is maybe a tenth of the overall size of the iceberg. So we're trying to manage the entire get it done process, deliver on strategy and execute by paying attention to the top 10% and not paying attention to the bottom 90%. So I want to introduce you to that and talk about that and help you understand and see that. There are 4 components of strategy execution. They are develop, design, deliver, and declare. When we do the development, we are developing clear, actionable requests and offers that lead to and initiate coordinated action with another human being or with multiple other human beings. When we do the design, what we're doing is we're aligning around what it's going to take to deliver success, which I refer to as the conditions of satisfaction or the conditions for success. Many times we lose those first 2 conversations, the develop and the design conversations. And in the absence of having those, we'll put them into a document or we'll put them into a project plan. But by the time they get picked up by a person who's tasked with delivering something, the context is missing, the intent is missing, many times the metrics and standards are missing. And so what we have is we have organizations where there are hundreds of thousands of people who are delivering their best effort, but almost doing it in a way where they're blind of the context and the purpose, the metrics, the standards, what it's going to take to actually deliver satisfaction. So we're setting people up for failure from the get-go because we are effectively lobbing stuff over the wall to them. Every single time you go to work and something pops up in your inbox, You don't have opportunity to discuss it with someone. You don't have an understanding of why they're asking you to do it. You just do it because it's in your inbox and you're going to do your best around it, and good for you. But what you're missing out is you're missing out everything that's going to enable you to be successful in the process of delivering this. You're literally playing Russian roulette with your ability to be able to satisfy your internal customer, the person who asked you to do something. We all jump into the delivery phase because that's how we've been trained, and we've trained to believe that our ability to be able to deliver is really where we add value. If it's stripped of context, if it's stripped of a customer, if you don't understand the purpose of our intent behind it, if you don't have metrics, if you don't have standards, if you haven't had a conversation with your customer around it, be it on Slack, be it on email, or be it in person, or virtually, of course, you're setting yourself up for failure because now you're working in delivery mode. Many times what happens is we will deliver and redeliver and redeliver and rework, and there's a huge volume of work in organizations that is rework because we have been missing all of these other contextual elements. The final piece of it, the fourth one, is to declare satisfaction. Now, we learn from each other in work all the time. Our ability to be able to fine-tune and calibrate how we deliver value for our customers, how we understand value, how we measure value, what our standards are around it, what is value. Our ability to be able to calibrate with our customers is what allows us to be able to progress and become more successful and more valuable to the company. In the absence of having those conversations, when we're just doing whatever's lobbed over the wall at us, we're missing out on that as well. So if you're only functioning in a quarter of the components of strategy execution, you're missing out on an opportunity to really be able to bring your capabilities to the table in a way that adds lots of value to your org. Execution really unravels when these components are missing, any of these components are missing. So we end up with ambiguous ownership, multiple people doing the same thing. We end up with vague success criteria, so I'm sort of throwing darts at a dartboard and hoping I'm headed in the right direction. We end up with unspoken concerns, so things that your leadership are trying to accomplish through probably the strategy don't get picked up or understood in a way that they get delivered and executed on. So those unspoken concerns only get spoken in conversation with other humans. Unacknowledged breakdowns. So we have breakdowns all the time. If you think about it, if you're working on a particular part of a project and you're only focused on 1/4 of the execution components, then your ability to be able to recognize that the rest of it is broken. It's not your fault. You're not the one who's messing up. The rest of the system around you is broken. And as we have those happen consistently across an org, it has a domino effect across the whole company or across the whole project. And it reduces our ability to be able to deliver real value. We end up getting frustrated. We end up getting disenchanted and disenfranchised and disengaged because we really don't have the context that we as human beings need to be able to deliver real value. One of the things that I find fascinating that's showing up at the moment, the more that I work with AI and AI agents and tools, I'm finding that in the absence of giving AI context, it also is incapable of doing anything that is of significant value. So even when you're working with agents, as well as working with people, and in the future we will have people and agents working alongside each other on our teams, our ability to be able to provide and deliver context becomes even more important. Executional intelligence really reinforces every component of what we need to do in order to be able to bring a strategy to life and make it real. It isn't a generic operational skill, it is a measurable ability to be able to strengthen and align these components through translational thinking, resource orchestration, constraint navigation, and momentum maintenance. Our ability to be able to maintain momentum for a project is absolutely essential. Many of our projects today, and many of the clients that I'm working with, people are in burnout. A lot of us are burnt out on trying to make up for the fact that we don't have visibility into the executional layer of our organizations. We haven't built that executional intelligence that allows us to be able to see that layer, to design it, orchestrate it, manage it, and make it work successfully for us. When we design our execution for impact and we design our execution to align with and deliver on our strategy, we can produce some pretty amazing results. And I'm just going to give you a couple of examples from some of the clients that I've worked with on this. For a global networking forum, we redesigned execution. We got 63% faster case resolution and 98.9% reliability in our delivery of our work. For a global tech org, a $400 million one, we trained people in promise making and we delivered on time, on budget launch with 0 escalations. $1+ billion manufacturer, we aligned the execution architecture and we ended up with a 66% faster turnaround and a 12.5% budget reduction. So we were delivering projects faster and we were delivering them under budget, which for manufacturing is really, really significant. So each component of execution intelligence can be taught and learned. One of the nice things about it is that it is almost innate in human beings. Once you start seeing and distinguishing it and beginning to observe it for yourself, you see that you're already doing some of this. It's how do you do it more effectively, more mindfully, with more self-reflection and more design and thought going into it. And you get progressively better at it over time. Each of the 4 components can be designed, can be practiced, and can be refined over time. So when we look at conditions of satisfaction or conditions for success, we can put design protocols in there to help us and support us in doing that. We can put in negotiation frameworks. And when I'm talking about negotiation, I'm not talking about I'll do this if you do that. I'm talking about how we really co-invent the conditions of satisfaction together. We can repair conversations when we see that they're broken, and once you start observing this, you'll see that there are conversations all around you that are broken, and you can actually go in and begin to repair those and intentionally build trust with other human beings. And we can really begin to understand the importance of clear definition of metrics and standards for building trust and for having true health and impact with our execution layer. This is what makes strategy execution really deliverable and puts the human beings and human intelligence at the center of us. It's going to allow us to be able to leverage AI significantly because our AI will show up as part of our network of commitments. As you start thinking about this for yourself and you start beginning to observe it and you start beginning to practice it, I have a white paper for you that I think will help you. It is called Execution by Design. You can find it on my website, www.jenniferkenny.com/execution, or under the free resources. If you get a chance, download it, read it, it's free. Let me know what you think about it and let me know how your progress is going towards thinking about your own executional intelligence capability. I wish you the best of luck.